Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. We are gathering here today to celebrate the Human Design New Year. So we're going to be chatting for a little bit as people come on. And I want to welcome those of you who are here live, if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, and those of you who are going to be watching the recording later. I'm delighted to be able to connect with you today and to provide what I hope is a uplifting and illuminating and powerful and yet accessible and not overly disruptive experience as we are able to dive into the power of the Human Design New Year. So the way this is going to go today, I would encourage you. I'm going to be able to see some comments. I'm going to ask for your patience as I continue to learn this streaming platform. So it's still new for me. I have used it some, but I'm still using it. But if you would like to just say hello, say where you're coming in from on the comments, wherever you are, if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, and I will see some of them that are going to show up here. I'm going to do my best to show up over here too. So I'm just going to pop in here, say hello, and where you're coming in from. Yay. All right. So, all right. I am just super delighted to be able to do this. I know that, I was sick for a while, and it was weird. I got kind of disconnected, and now I'm feeling really good again, and I'm feeling like my energy is back. And I just have to say, I love this. So we've got Haiti, who's here from Australia, and Purple Ray, who's here from London. And I'll tell you, as somebody who has a global audience, to have people from those two parts of the world here coming together at the same time is awesome, because it's not an easy thing to do. So thank you for those of you in Australia for waking up early. It's early and it's not too late there in London. So thanks for being here. And yeah, to go ahead and continue to say hello. And I encourage you to, as we go through, if there are things that I say that you're like, oh yeah, then just type whatever that was in the chat. And then we'll have a little bit of a record of it. And because that way we can all learn from each other, and people who come in later will be able to see what you thought was awesome. So that would be great. And then also, if there's anything that you're just kind of like, yeah, you can, like, if you feel like you want to do this, you can just put exclamation points in the chat. So this is just an opportunity for you to get to participate, feel like you're a little bit more live. On this particular platform, I can't see you like I can on Zoom. So this is a way for me to get connected to you and for us to connect with each other. All right. So we also have Patty from Australia, and Ratna, who's coming in from LA, and Holly. Hi, Holly, coming from Arizona, and good. Yeah, 5 a.m. Not too bad. Well, thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. All right. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to just share with you a bit about the Human Design New Year and what that means and why it's auspicious, and then what we can do to really utilize this powerful energy for ourselves today. And this transit is going to be going on for I think 5 days. So if you're watching this in the next 5 days, that's kind of like the most auspicious time. But then, some of you will watch it much later, and I will let you know that the practice we're going to do today is good. It's great when you do it on really auspicious days, because you've got the power of that energy behind you, but you're also going to be able to use this at any time for yourself when you need to clear and boost your energy. So before I do have some slides I want to share with you, and before we get into that, I want to just invite you. One of the things we're going to do is that we're going to do an energy practice, simple but potent energy practice. And then you're going to have a chance to plant seeds of consciousness, if you will, into your auric field, which you will have really built up and energized through the practice that we're going to do today. And you're going to be able to place seeds of consciousness into your auric field and even out into the unified field. So you have your own energy field, right? And then we expand out into the all that is. And so you're going to get to plant seeds of intention there. So you can be thinking about what those seeds of intention might be for yourself. While I'm going through this presentation, you might want to make a note. And depending on our timing, I will cue you to give you some time for that. Let me just make sure I got my phone here. So I need my timer. Yay. So let me just see. Good. We're live over on Facebook as well. So I'm not as clear about Facebook. I'm sorry, you guys, but if you're on Facebook, hi. Glad you're here. All right. So let's go ahead. Like I said, I do have some slides I want to share with you to just get us oriented and help us to understand, kind of what it is that we're diving into together today. All right. So I think I can. There we go. Haiti, we're going to go, I try to keep these to about an hour or 75 minutes. I will stay on if people want to have conversation. So, yeah, I think we'll be done with the major part of it, by the end of the hour. And then, and then I'll stay on if people want to have conversation. Okay, great. So for those of you who are joining us from the 10 Days of Sovereignty, which is we're right in the middle of that, and we're actually on day 8. And so welcome to those of you who are in the 10 Days of Sovereignty. This is a New Year's immersion, which is my gift to you. And so we've been kind of getting ready for this New Year day today. And if you haven't participated in it and you don't know about it, then you are welcome to join us in our Becoming Sovereign Quantum Retreat Center. And I will put the link down in the description below. You can go to becomingsovereign.mn.co and just request to join. It's free to join. The 10 Days of Sovereignty is right in there. It's also free to join. You'll have access to the material at least through the end of this month, maybe a few days into February. So no worries if you're just kind of getting going. And also, if you're in the 10 Days of Sovereignty and you feel like, oh gosh, I haven't been able to engage with every single thing, it's okay. Don't stress about it. This is an opportunity for you to get to play with some themes. And if you want to journey with me more through the rest of the year, then you'll have an opportunity to do that. But please don't get into the FOMO or, I'm missing out or any of that. It just creates stress and you don't need that. Okay, so here we are on Tuesday, January 23rd. And the reason that this is the Human Design New Year is that the sun, which you can see up here at the top of the list of where the planets are in the gates, has moved into the gate 41. And the gate 41 is down here on the root center. Okay, so it's rooted energy. And it is connected to the power of the earth. And it is known as the gate of fantasy in traditional human design and the gate of imagination in quantum human design. So we're going to take a look at what is it about the gate 41 just briefly, and then we're going to really dive into imagination. So according to the lore of human design, the gate 41 is known as the initiating codon of our DNA. So without getting technical or scientific about it, if we just embrace the idea that there is a particular kind of energy that's happening when the sun, which is our great star, right? It's our own star, is lighting up this gate of imagination. that it's initiating us into a set of new possibilities. So, regardless of your human design type, I know that only manifestors are the ones who are designed to initiate the way we usually think about that. But here we're all getting this energy. It's initiating energy from the sun. And actually, in the transits that we've been going through, so really since the beginning of January, we've had a lot of initiating energy, a lot of kind of breaking things apart energy, opening up new possibilities energy. And so let's take advantage of this initiating energy for ourselves. So when we think about imagination, right? If we're going to initiate with our imagination, what is our imagination? I wanted to share these images with you today because I think that they represent this sense of how we can tune in to our imagination. And what is our imagination but our connection with the creative intelligence of the universe? It's one aspect. So the 41 is in the sensing circuit or the miracle circuit in quantum human design. Excuse me. And so the sensing circuit is right-brained energy. It is powerful, creative force. It's intuitive, it's embodied, it's experiential. It's not analytical, rational, logical, or any of those things, okay? It's really this kind of expanded energy where we connect to the all that is, where we connect to that creative intelligence of the universe. And so, of course, imagination is going to be in this circuit. And unfortunately, a lot of us have been really conditioned to think that our imaginations are somehow not valid. You know, it's like, oh, you're just making that up. You're just imagining that. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make it not real. It makes it something that I'm creating as energy first. So this is a really great perspective for you to understand and adopt if it appeals to you, which is that we understand that everything is created as energy first, right? Anything is created as energy first. So I know I've seen like pictures, photographs, special kinds of photographs of like a root of a plant, right? And there's a little energy field out in front of the physical root that's kind of finding its way under the ground, right? And it's the same when we look at leaves, right? They've got an energy field around them that helps them so that they're creating the form, the physical form ahead of time as energy. Well, of course, if you just look around the environment that you're sitting in right now, or you take a look at your computer or your phone or however you're tuning into this, whatever it is that you're looking at was created as energy first. It was created as thought, right? So we go from the undifferentiated waves that are happening in the unified field, and then they reduce into particles, which becomes thought as we imagine it, and then we can start to bring it into form. So imagination is absolutely, such a huge superpower that we all have, especially when we grasp a hold of it and utilize it consciously and purposefully. Now, there can be a challenge with imagination, which is what the fantasy of traditional human design is about, which is where you kind of sit around like like these days it could be somebody you see on social media, right? You know, some celebrity or singer or actor or influencer or whatever, and you get a crush on that person and you fantasize having a relationship with that person, right? It's a fantasy. Now, it's not necessarily negative unless you live there and you give all this energy there, right? Is you start fantasizing. It could also be like wishful thinking, where there's no real juice behind it. It's just using the power of your imagination to fantasize about something. Now, fantasies can be great as long as we realize that that's what they are. But when we use our imagination purposefully, we're tapping in. I love this picture in the middle, right? Where she's just connecting with the all that is, right? She's really connecting. The other two are allowing this downpouring of light, this downpouring of information and consciousness that's coming from the sun or from your inner being or from spirit, however you want to think about it. And this is really activating and fueling us because we are actually not separate from that creative intelligence. We are an expression of it. Unfortunately, we've been taught a lot of the time not to recognize this about ourselves. And so we think that we are alone. We think our lives are just up to us. We feel isolated. Life becomes burdensome. I know I have lived this way, and sometimes I still fall into it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm actually connected to the universe. Let me open up again and ask for some more support. So the practice that we're going to do today is going to help you know how to open up your access, raise your frequency so that you're more in alignment with that creative intelligence of the universe. You're going to be able to harmonize and bring coherence to your own energy field. And when you do that, you become much more in alignment with the Earth's magnetic field and with this great intelligence of the universe. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, so here is a depiction of the Earth's magnetic field, right? Coming up and around and up and around and up and around. And the reason that we don't burn up in the sun is that we have this magnetic field. This magnetic field actually protects us from the solar stream that is always coming our way. Even so, sometimes, particularly if you're a sensitive person, you can be influenced by solar flares. It happens, right? Things happen on the sun. We get these bursts of energy, and we can be impacted by that. But if we didn't have this magnetic field, we would be, burning up on one side and frozen on the other, like our moon, right? Our moon is like that, right? It's freezing on one side and burning up on the other. And that's because it doesn't have an atmosphere and it doesn't have this magnetic field. So knowing that, we also have a magnetic field. This is an image that comes from the Institute of Heart Math, who are the ones who've really done the science to help us understand the significance of the power of the heart in terms of its magnetic field, its electromagnetic field. And our electromagnetic field of the heart actually is designed to be in relationship to this magnetic field, that we're actually designed to be working together. But because of so many things that are happening in our lives today, whether that's the way that we have picked up influences from other people and amplified them, as we've learned in human design, or the ways our definition has been impacted and imprinted, or maybe it's because of the human-made energies that were around, like Wi-Fi and cellular and Bluetooth, all of that. So we have our own magnetic field can be distorted, it can be disrupted, it can even be torn and fragmented. And so it doesn't really look like this beautiful picture with this beautiful torus field, right? And this is also known as our auric field, which is what we would call it in the yoga traditions, right? And so our attention to our auric field, our energetic hygiene, if you will, of being able to clear out energies that are not ours, emotions that are not ours, but then also limiting beliefs or stuck energy or stuck emotions that have lodged themselves inside of our physical body. We want to be able to break those apart and release them as well, so that we can be more free and that our field can move more easily and we don't have all these kind of stuck places in our field. And then we want to bring coherence in between the brain and the heart and the gut. And so that's part of what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so you may be familiar with a picture like this. This is from the chakra system, right? And she is seated inside of this seed energy. Okay, so this is the seed of life. Okay, and so what we want to do today is get ourselves into a coherent and harmonized state, so that when we plant these seeds of consciousness, that we are in the highest state that we can reach, given who we are and what our current practice is and what's available to us today. So we're going to be focusing on the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is right here in the center of the chest, and it is a very powerful energy field. And its mate in human design is the G center and the will center. So in the human design system, the heart chakra split into two at the end of the 18th century, and we got the G center and we got the will center. They're right here in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but they're right here in the center of your chest, and they're actually really right next to each other, right? And they've got a little channel, which is the channel of the priest or the priestess or the shaman. And it's also the channel of initiation. It goes through the love of spirit, which is the 25, and the 51, which is shock, depending on how it's distributed, or initiation. So there is this initiating energy that we have that is part of the heart center. And so I personally don't feel a dissonance between looking at the chakra system and looking at human design. I'm kind of a both and person with a lot of things. I feel like multiple things can be true at the same time. So that's why I'm going to really hold this, because I've been trained extensively in the chakra system through, many, decades of yoga practice, but then really training to become a radiant body yoga teacher. But then human design has also important things to teach us as well. So I honor the 9 centers of human design, and we're going to dive into that a little bit today. So this is what the heart center looks like in the human design system. But we want to focus on this particular gate in the G center. So it's at the bottom of the G center. It's in the knowing circuit. It's the gate 2, and it's the gate of allowing. In traditional human design, it's the keeper of the keys, which is kind of interesting. And in quantum human design, it's the gate of allowing. I think of this as a really receptive energy. The reason for that is that it is the location of what in the lore of human design we call the magnetic monopole. Okay, the magnetic monopole, which means it's a magnet with one pole, and so it just attracts. Okay, it just attracts. It's the energy by which we are, if you're a generator type, either pure generator or manifesting generator, it's the way that we draw in the things that we get to respond to. If you're a projector type, it's how you draw in invitations and recognition. If you are a manifestor type, you can use this to be drawing in energy that's fueling whatever motor you have going to the throat that's giving you those creative impulses. And if you are a reflector type, this can support you to be drawing in the insights that are going to be helping you as you're tuning into the frequency over the course of a moon cycle. So this is supportive for every type, whatever your particular one is. So the magnetic monopole is the place, I like to think of it as where that torus field kind of begins, right? The torus field is coming in through that gate 2, right? Through the G center, right? And then it's moving out into this magnetic field, right? So it's kind of going like this. So these are all ideas for you to contemplate with and to consider for yourself around how is it that I am operating energetically? And do I work with my energy on a regular basis, or do I kind of just, sometimes feel one way, sometimes feel another way? Do I have a way that really supports me to have more command of my energy field? Because if you find that you get knocked around by other people's energy a lot, or if you get overwhelmed energetically, or if you feel confused in your mind a lot, then you could use energetic hygiene, which is what we're going to do today, or it's one of the ways you can do energetic hygiene. Excuse me. So this is really, really beneficial for you. And we are going to come back to this slide, because what we're going to do is really build up our field. You're going to have the opportunity to plant seeds of consciousness, okay, into your auric field and into the unified field. And then the invitation is going to be, what are your seeds of consciousness, your seeds of intention for the world? So it's not just for your life. It's also, what are you really wanting for the world? Okay. All right. There we are. Okay, great. Does anybody have any comments or questions that you want to make about what I just shared, about this piece, about the how we really utilize and build our own auric fields, and how we use that to help us to create what we want in our lives, or about the initiating codon or anything like that? So I'll just see if you guys have a question or anything about that. I'm going to look over here on Facebook. I'm not 100% sure how to do this. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right. And Angela is saying, solar flares really affect me negatively. I'm doing the Kriyas, flower essences, and more, but nothing seems to really help. Solar flares, Angela, I am certainly not an expert in this area at all. But one thing I would just say is grounding. Grounding. As much as you can, like literally get as much of your body on the earth with as little between you and the earth as possible. So just like a piece of cloth, nothing plastic or anything like that, because and not shoes, because shoes have rubber on the bottom of them. But if we think about, what do we do when there's lightning, right? We ground. Lightning is why we have, we ground our electricity in our homes, right? So that's just something that you might explore with. Of course, you can energetically ground by, sending your consciousness down into the earth, but there is nothing like going ahead and lying on the earth to help you to discharge extra electromagnetic energy if you have it. And let me know how it goes. Okay. And Ratna's curiosity draws me in, says, I love the idea that the energy of our creativity growth reaches out ahead of us prior to physically creating something. Absolutely. This is what, like all the teaching of law of attraction, that's really what it's based on, is this idea that we get ourselves into a certain frequency, right? And especially depending on how we're doing our intentions, right? Then we send this out in front of us as energy. And then that is what helps bring things to us. Yeah, absolutely. I spent a lot of time, and I'm actually revisiting this now. It's so interesting how this happens. But it's a few of my main spiritual teachers for many years were Sanea Roman, who's a channel for a light being named Orin, and then Dwayne Packer, who's a channel for a light being named Daben. And I trained with them and became an Awakening Your Light Body teacher, and really learned a lot about both what they call the Renari cocoon, which is the auric field, and also the light body space, which is another space. And we learned a lot about creating things as energy first. And this is something that I do with my paintings now as well. And so you'll get to taste a little bit of that today, but there's a lot that you can explore there if that's something that's of interest to you. Okay, and Susan is asking, how does it manifest differently if that gate or pole is lit up in your chart? Well, the main difference between if you have something defined in your chart, so it's colored in, or it's white, or is so it's undefined or open, is that you have ready and reliable, consistent access to that energy and a consistent way of experiencing it. So one thing I would say, Susan, is if it is defined in your chart, take a look at how good you are allowing the good that you deserve to come to you. because that's an indicator about how you're experiencing and expressing the energy of the two. If you have it open, then you're going to have a variable way of experiencing this energy. I have the 2 defined in my chart. So the 2 energy is getting transmitted to you from me right now. And I've done a lot of work, a lot of work over the years to really elevate my heart energy. And so what we're going to do today is going to help you to elevate that heart energy. And it will support you to help clear things out if you need to. And if you need to shift, like if it's defined in your chart and you're like, yeah, I'm really not very good about allowing things in, I'm kind of closed, which a lot of people are, lots of reasons for that. But if you find that doing a practice like we're going to do today with the intention that you're going to shift your energy around the 2 to be more allowing, will support you with that project. Okay. Geraldine says barefoot walking on the grass called earthing. Yes, exactly. Earthing is that, I mean, that's one version, is walking on the, but lying on the earth, having magnetic fields in your bed or whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of things to doing with earthing, but yes, exactly. Yes, and Geraldine says yes. And once we're in the frequency, how does it feel in your heart? Exactly. That's the thing, right? Is how does it feel? So part of what we want to do to become more adept, energetically adept, which is pillar number 4 of feminine sovereignty, is that we become more attuned to our energy so we can feel our energy. And we memorize the higher frequency of energy. We memorize that so that when we walk away from our practice, we feel this uplifted energy and it will stick with us. And part of the reason we want to practice regularly is that we want to raise our set point, right? We want to raise our set point. Okay, great. And Haiti says, is there an interplay or change with the neutrino field and our auric field and the H with the new year? Is there an interplay or change with the neutrino field? Well, the neutrino field is coming in through the gate 41, right? The neutrino field is bringing the energy of the planets into the human design mandala. That's what the neutrino field is doing, right? So the neutrino field's coming from the planets and it's coming into the human design mandala through the gates. So right now, that neutrino field, which the most powerful part of it is from the sun, right? Because the sun is the most powerful energy in our solar system. And it's coming into the gate 41. So that's what's happening with the neutrino field. I mean, it's really lighting up that particular energy. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, and then that's going to be beaming the light of the sun into our heart. Right now, our heart, into the gate 41 right now, into our imagination. So that's why we want to access that imagination. The 2 isn't being transited right now, but we can still work with the 2, even so. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That is so cool. I have been open. So every time I spend time with you, I'm allowing things in. Wait, I have it open. Yeah. Okay. So every time I spend time with you, I'm allowing it in. Yeah. Well, potentially you are allowing it in. You are feeling the energy of my 2. But depending on what your experience of allowing has been in your life, you may or may not be so receptive to it. That's the thing. People talk about openness in human design as if you are simply at the mercy of other people's energy, but I don't think that's true. I think that what our own auric field is like, what our relationship to our centers and our gates and channels are, deeply influence how we receive energy from other people. We're not at the mercy of other people's energy and just pick it up and amplify it. If you, for example, not just you, Geraldine, but anybody, if any of us really shut down our heart at a certain point, even if you're around my 2 and it's allowing, you still might have like these energetic barriers to that. So it's a little more complicated than a lot of times people talk about, but all the more reason why we need to do these energy practices. And for those of you who may be more new to me, I'll just say my stance, which is what I talk about a lot in my book on feminine sovereignty, right, which includes human design and also includes these practices, this kind of practices we're doing today, is that human design helps us to know where we need to decondition, but it doesn't tell us how, which is why we need energy practices like this. Okay, so relating deeply to the challenges with allowing. Yeah, I totally feel you. Grateful for the Kriyas to play with my energies in different ways, especially with opening the heart. Exactly. Oh, thank you. I'm still trying to understand what the neutrino field is and how it works. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a super expert on the neutrino field. I have talked to people who are like really into that, and it gets pretty complicated. But what I will say is my understanding is that the neutrino field is cosmic energy coming from the planets, right? The energies in, like, because the planets are the major influencers, if you will, in our solar system, right? And the sun, of course, is the primary one, right? Because it's the big, massive consciousness that is lighting up the whole solar system. And then our earth, which is why the sun and the earth are the priority in human design. Right? Your sun and your earth make up your incarnation cross. And of course, the earth has a huge impact because we're on the earth, right? So whatever's happening with the earth is really influencing us. And then we have all the other planets. And the other planets, depending on where they are in the solar system, the cosmic energy that's coming off of them will come down into the human design mandala, and it'll influence the different gates, and they change all the time, right? Except for like the outer planets, like Pluto's in the gate 60 for 3 years, right? Whereas the moon changes multiple times during a day. So I hope that gives us all a little bit of an understanding about that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. You guys ready to practice? Put yes in the chat if you're ready to practice. Let me see a little enthusiasm there. Yay for practice. Make sure you put down everything that you've got, and not doing so much, not multitasking. If you've been multitasking, now is the time to stop. So we're going to do 3. I was born ready. I love that. Oh, I like the exclamation points too. Yes, yes, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yes, let's go. Okay, so we're going to do 3 short kriyas. You could do these individually. It's a nice little sequence, and the key thing for you is you want to, excuse me, be engaging as fully as possible, and take a break if you need to at any point, and then come back in. If for some reason doing the practice we're going to do is hard for your body, you can visualize it. You can imagine yourself doing it. Use your imagination, your power of your imagination, okay? Because it's really, really potent just to imagine, right? You probably, you may have heard about those studies of athletes who actually spend part of their time practicing and part of their time imagining. And the ones who actually imagine doing it perfectly do better in the end, right? So the power of our imagination. Okay, so in the middle one that we're going to do, let me just say, we are going to do a breath that is breath of fire, but it's kind of easy just to pick up as we do it. But let me just say one moment about breath of fire, which is it does not have to be a super intense breath, even though it has a super intense name. It's known as the master breath in Kundalini Yoga. But the main thing is that the emphasis is on the exhale through the nose. So you're going to push in your belly. Make sure you're not pushing out your belly. Okay, push it in. And then you inhale quick. Okay, you got to make sure you inhale. If you don't inhale, you're going to get lightheaded and it's not going to feel good. So make sure that you are inhaling. Don't try to just go, no, inhale. It doesn't feel good. So do it with me for a second. Let's slow it down. Okay, exhale. When we do it in the practice, it'll be a little bit faster. But like with anything, do it at your own pace. If the pace I do it at is too fast, that's okay. So recall for yourself what your seeds of intention are, your seeds of consciousness that you want to put into the unified field, what they might be for you. This could be for something having to do with your body. You could think about the 8 pillars. The 8 pillars are your connection to spirit, your emotional wisdom, your vitality and the connection to the living world, your energetic adeptness, your deep sense of purpose and contribution in the world, your ability to communicate in a way that connects, your ability to collaborate with other people in ways that are mutually beneficial, and finally to take on the mantle of stewardship to help our planet heal and thrive again. So it could be from any of those, right? Could have to do with your body, could have to do with your relationships, could have to do with your work in the world, really could be anywhere. But you just want an energetic seed of what it is you want to be unfolding in your life over the course of 2024. And we're just going to plant those seeds in your field, okay? And then they're going to unfold as the time is right. You do not have to stress about it. You don't have to focus on it. Do your best not to doubt it or to undermine it, but to actually instead be in a state of, like I said, use your imagination, use your heart, allow your emotional solar plexus, whether it's open or defined, to get really excited about the energy, right? So a lot of what will help things manifest for you in your life is when you are energetically excited and you have positive anticipation about it showing up for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing we're going to do, you've probably seen this before, I actually posted it on Instagram and Facebook today, is prana shakti. Okay, so prana shakti, we have the hands are like this. I like to think of them as grabbing light. They're going to be at a 60-degree angle. I'm going to do anyway for you to see, really see me for this. There we go. So they're going to be at a 60-degree angle. Okay, hands are splayed. You're going to grab light, and then you're going to drop your arms into the sides of your body. Okay, just like that. And we're going to breathe in and breathe out 108 times. All right, here we go. And I'll count for us. You can close your eyes. 30. 60. 90. 'Big breath in and hold, reach. Squeeze the pelvic floor, squeeze the sit bones together, the pubic bone and tailbone, and pushing the energy up the front of the spine, allowing it to open, expand the heart, and right into the center of the brain. Hold as long as you can. Exhale if you need to. Let's bring the hands above the head and reach with the fingertips. Here you are, energizing, nourishing, clearing your auric field. Now go ahead, turn your hand palms outward, reach up and out as you exhale. Take it nice and slow, imagining that you are just clearing your auric field. You're clearing everything out of your field that is not in your highest good. You are taking command of this auric field. This is my space. This is my energy. This is my domain. And then hands up, palms up in your lap, closing your eyes if you haven't already. And just pause for a moment, first finger and thumb together. Just breathing easily, spine tall, crown lifted. Grounding yourself, feeling the earth underneath you. And just tuning into the energy all around you. You just stimulated a lot of pranic force in your field. So we're giving it a chance to just settle. Prana is intelligence. It has consciousness. You can give it permission to go anywhere in your field where you need healing, where you need more light. It can help to mend the tears and fragmentation in your field. Good. Just noticing the quality of your energy right now. Feeling into the space behind you. The backspace, we often do not pay any attention to. We tend to be so focused forward with our technology these days. Feel into the backspace. Good. Just drinking in the light. So this next one is also going to be about nourishing your heart and your auric field. So anytime we're doing things like this with the arms, the arms are an extension of the heart, right? They go right out from the heart. You see that? So anytime we do things like this is really opening and stimulating and healing our heart energy. So this one, hands are going to be interlaced, and you're going to reach out. I need my microphone. I think you're still going to be able to hear me. Let's get this. Okay. You're going to reach your hands out in front of you, and then you're going to pull in. Reach out, pull in. Okay. So inhale, exhale. You can think of it as that breath of fire with pushing in the belly. Or you can just inhale, exhale. If the breath of fire is too, if it flusters you or is uncomfortable or anything like that, don't let yourself get distracted by feeling anything challenging about the breath of fire. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes. So here you're really activating and helping to nourish this heart energy that you have. Okay, here we go. 3 minutes. Just closing your eyes, dropping in. Try not to use a ton of force doing this. You don't have to get really intense with your muscles. Just pumping up your heart energy, building your prana. Finding a rhythm that works for you. If my pace doesn't work for you, find another one that does. As you're doing this, you're just softening any rigidity that you've had around your heart. You're nourishing it, loving it. Just seeing if you can just drop into a little bit of a trance state here. You're doing great. Stay with it. Relaxing your shoulders. Keep going. 1 more minute. Just imagining your heart center blossoming open, the lotus in the center of your heart. Inviting that gate to the magnetic monopole just to open to receive. And arms out, hold the arms out, inhale and hold. Pause the breath, squeeze the pelvic floor, pushing energy up the center of the spine, into the heart, into the center of the brain. And exhale when you need to, palms up in your lap, first finger and thumb touching. Just tune in. You may feel a lot of energy in the front of your heart, in the front of your field. Just building your skill with tuning in to this energy. Sitting tall, crown lifted, rooting into the ground. Letting all that prana you just stimulated relax into your field. Giving it permission to heal you, nourish you, uplift you. Take a big breath right into the possibility that you could have a vibrant, thriving, illuminating auric field. You are the sovereign of this field. Good. Okay, last piece here. We're going to do a breath where we divide the in-breath into 7 parts. And the 7 parts are going to go up through the central channel. We're going to trace the chakras. The human design centers will still be involved in this. And the way it's going to go is we're going to take a little sniff of breath starting at the root and go up. And I'll lead you through the first couple ones, right? So it's going to be like this: root, sacral or second chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, ajna, head, or crown. And then we're going to exhale. So 7 breaths up. Do not stress out about getting this right. It might take you a couple of rounds to kind of figure out how to distribute your breath. But what this is going to do is it's going to bring your attention to each of those centers. So you're going to start at the base of the spine. And if you don't exactly know where the centers are, just think of going a little bit up the spine every time, right? We've got the central column of light. So you're basically just saying, we're bringing attention here. We're bringing attention here, here, and here. so that we're bringing more harmony and more coherence to the entire field, okay, that's running in front of the spine and creates that torus field. Okay, so we're going to do this for about 3 minutes. So just follow along. You'll get the hang of it. Okay, here we go. Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, ajna, crown. Exhale. Inhale, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, ajna, crown. Exhale. And exhale on your own time. And again. Stay with it. See if you can just drop in. Meeting yourself, your own energy field. One more round. And exhale. Palms up in your lap, first finger and thumb touching. And just drop in. Tuning into the quiet and the stillness. Taking a couple of big breaths right into your heart. Feeling the magnificence of the heart center. Tuning into the lower body, pelvic bowl, the whole lower part of the body, the power center. Feeling its relationship to the earth. It's where all the motors are in human design. All of this power in the lower body fueling the heart, including the will center. Harmonizing the gut and the heart, just by tuning into both of them at the same time. And bringing your energy into coherence, just with your imagination. Imagining that 41 all the way down at the base of the spine, alive, potent force of imagination. Tuning into the gate 2 at the bottom of the G center in the center of the chest. Imagining you're allowing your receptivity to all that is in your highest good opening. Bringing your awareness into the center of the head, between the ears, behind the eyes, known as the command center in the yogic traditions. It's a place of projection where you are going to project your seeds of intention, seeds of consciousness. So you have built your energy to this higher frequency, feeling yourself inside of this ball, shimmering ball of light all around you. The central channel runs right through the middle of it. Split places in your physical body and your energy body lit up. Gut, the heart, center of the head. All of these layers of you. This is your energy. This is your domain. This is your inherent power. Your power within. And as you tune into your auric field, that ball of light all around you, tuning into the back space, the front space, the left and the right. Allowing your energy to expand out beyond the borders of what you've known so far. And reaching down and reaching up. So that the boundaries of your physical body dissolve. The boundaries of your auric field become softer. As you find yourself in the Varanyagarbha, the great cosmic womb, we call it in Sanskrit, or the unified field, just what the quantum physicists call it. Dark matter, full of potential, full of waves of potential. And calling into your awareness now your seeds of intention. And just intuitively imagine where you want to place them in the field around you. Allow your inner being to guide you. You might imagine them as little balls of light. They may have a design, might just be a feeling. But from this elevated state, placing those seeds, it could be shaped like a seed. Just placing them as you will into the field around you with a blessing. And see if you can experience delight, positive anticipation as you place them there, as if it had already happened. As you place each seed, imagining what it feels like for that to have already unfolded in your life. Allowing in all of the good that is here for you all that is beneficial, all that is blessed, all that is sacred, all that is nourishing and uplifting. As you do this, you may hear things or see things or feel things, or you may not. It's all good. Just knowing that you are creating your future as energy now. You're giving your attention to these seeds of consciousness that will go and work their magic on your timeline, particularly if you give them your attention and your energy of positive anticipation and refuse the energy of doubt. Good. Taking a couple more breaths here, right into your heart. Is there any final touches you want to put on your seeds of intention here? Good. And then bringing your hands in front of your heart. Just going to rub our hands together. And then reaching up, charging yourself with light. Inviting light to pour down through your crown, spiraling in through the crown of the head, nourishing your whole energy field. Wow, I just got a boost. Letting yourself receive that, coming in through your fingertips, coming in through the gate too. Yes. Good. And hands together. And just having a moment of gratitude for this practice, for all of the yogis who perfected and have practiced these forms for thousands and thousands of years, left us footprints of consciousness that we get to follow. So much gratitude for our teachers. So much gratitude for the blessings that we have. And have a moment of gratitude for yourself, for giving yourself this time. This time, your attention. We make things holy by the quality of our attention, says Shahs. All right. Yay. All right, my dears. That is our practice for today. How was that? How are you feeling? And if anybody wants to share any of their seeds of consciousness, you're welcome to do that here. You're also welcome to do that if you're part of the 10 days of sovereignty, to go and share anything you want to in the chat there or in the comments where the recording of this will be. Yay. Because I know sometimes we're really kind of expanded. And if you also might want to go and write and listen to what your soul has to tell you, your inner being has to tell you from this experience today. Okay. All right. So Desiree says, thank you, Maggie. You're so welcome, Desiree. Yes. Geraldine says, floating. Wow. Floating. Grateful for you, Maggie. Aw, beautiful guidance. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So I love doing these practices. I feel really called to bring human design and these practices together, because what I see a lot for people in the human design community is that they intellectually learn about their human design. They get the concepts, right? But then they don't necessarily change. They might still feel stuck. Some things might change, but a lot of times things are resistant to change. And so we need practices that help us to really, really work with our energy and our emotions so that we can move that resistance. We can meet ourselves with love and compassion and not try to force ourselves to be different, but rather to just really bring in nourishment. I think that these practices are so nourishing as well as healing and clearing. Yeah. Um, yeah, so much gratitude for you, Maggie. Oh, Susan, you're welcome. You're welcome. Feeling so expanded and optimistic, right? Yeah. So it's like, imagine if you do things like this every morning, right? Or often. I get up and write first thing in the morning, but then I do my practice. And I really notice it if I don't do it. It's like I can really feel I'm more likely to be irritable. I'm more likely to be reactive. I'm more likely to like not have my thoughts be as clear as they could be. It's really, really changes me. Okay, Haiti says, thank you. Great way to start the day. Exactly. Yes. Nancy, love you. Lovely. I love you too. Lovely. Thank you so very much. Yeah. And what is the 7th breath exercise in particular good for? That 7th breath. Yeah. And if you have any questions, do please post them. So what you're doing, so the way that this worked in this particular sequence, right, is that we built this energy, right, in our auric field. And then by focusing our attention with our breath on each one of the chakras, right, we're bringing attention to that part of our field and we're bringing energy there. So we built all this energy and then we're saying, okay, energy goes here. Energy goes here. Energy goes here, right? All the way up the spine, right through that central channel. And very often, different people have different energy centers. And if you think of human design here, right? Some of us have those centers defined. Some of us have those centers open. So we're going to have different experiences of our centers depending on our definition or our openness. And so sometimes are those centers, they get kind of clogged up with energy, right? It's that I have found, like in the centers that are defined on me, like if I don't do things that help harmonize those centers, they can get rigid, right? If you think about it, like I'm in my 60s, right? So that means that those energies have been there, for over 60 years. And so they can get rigid. And so what happens when I focus my attention there, right? It helps to move the energy there. It helps it be like, oh, let's be vibrant. Let's activate that, right? Whereas the parts that are open on me, right? So I've got the throat, ajna, and crown, head center in human design. They're all open, right? But I can get all kinds of different energies coming in here, doing different things. How are they working, right? So when I focus my attention, even in these few moments while you're doing the breath, you're helping to bring attention to that part of your body. And the prana is intelligent, right? Remember this, the prana is intelligent. So it's not like we have to know with our analytical mind or our cognitive mind what's happening. We just have to say, prana, go here. Prana, go here. We make things holy by the quality of our attention. So when we raise our energy like this to a high frequency, then we focus it and we send it there, right? We're sending loving, high frequency energy and attention to our different centers. So that's what this 7-part breath is doing. It's very harmonizing too, because when you're doing it with all the centers, you're basically saying, okay, are we playing together? Are we in alignment? Are we in harmony with each other? And again, the prana is intelligent. So the prana is like, oh, you need more prana here. Oh, we need to move something around in here. But you don't have to know how to do that. Okay, Desiree, I hope that answered your question. Okay. Any other questions? We're coming up on our time here. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Sandra. Yeah. Yeah. So any other comment or question before we wrap up? For today. I'm going to take a sip of water. For those of you who are in the 10 days of sovereignty, and if you're not, I hope you'll come and join us, that you will go and just, post some comments in there, because it really encourages people to watch the replay if you do. So this will be posted in the replay for day 8. And yeah, enjoy. All right. You're welcome. I'm glad that explanation. I hope that that made sense for you. All right, my dears, many blessings, much love. So glad to be here with you today. Bye for now.